It's football o'clock, friends. Celebrate Buckeye Game Day. This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors.
Along with former Buckeyes DeVier, Posey, and Dane Sanzenbacher, here's Matty Ice.
Welcome in, Buckeye Nation. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. I'm Matty Ice, and to my right, I got two former Buckeye wide receivers by the name of DeVier, Posey, and Dane Sanzenbacher. Fellas, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy 2025. We have made it. How we feeling, fellas? How was New Year's Eve last night?
Man, it was awesome. Happy New Year, guys. The baby made it up. Reese made it to 12.
Did he?
Now let him out of his room. I thought I put him down. I thought I did my job. Had another espresso martini, and then here he comes. And he made it to the ball drop.
Oh, beautiful. Love that.
I made it to about 1:30 last night. It was a good night, man. I did not do espresso martinis. If I did an espresso martini, I still would have been awake.
Mm-hmm. My best decision was choosing to pass on that espresso martini.
I think I'm still... I was up at 4, so I think I'm still going on those espresso martinis.
Okay, so you're off about, what, 5 hours of sleep?
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's... Yeah, I got moving around like 10:30, 10:45. Yeah.
What's your cutoff? What's your guys' cutoff to be functional? Like as far as the amount of hours you need of sleep? You just need 3 hours and you're good?
Yeah, I need 3.
I need 5.
Need 5?
Minimum of 5.
I need 3.
Dane's like,
I don't even know, man. Anything less than 7, and I'm already in my head like I didn't get enough sleep.
Okay.
And
well,
then
in my 20s, it was 3.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to add 3 more to that, huh? Maybe
but either way, we're bringing the juice today.
It's time to go.
This is come on. This is the best pregame show there is.
We get it going.
We agree. Nobody does 6 hours before kickoff like we do.
We're not messing around. Look, we're going to get all into this Ohio State and Oregon matchup. The first game was just an absolute banger. That game didn't go in Ohio State's favor, but here they are with a chance to get off the mat. Before we get to anything Ohio State related, you brought apparently some goodies.
Guys, I need to take you guys down memory lane. The new year is good for a lot of things. It's great for reflection.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I thought, what better time to look back at the 2010 Rose Bowl than right now?
Yeah,
Oregon, Ohio State, DeVier's here. So last night, here's what I did, Matty. I went through. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna find all the memorabilia I can from this game. I know I kept it. As you can see, I've got my nameplate behind me.
Yes.
YouTube will see
the
it.
Locker right there.
Snatched it.
Yeah.
Probably stole it.
And real quick, not only are we on YouTube, you can stream us on 10 TV Plus right now as well, so you can see the nameplate that Dane's talking about.
If you're not streaming yet, you should stream. This is going to get good, folks.
I can't wait for it. The nameplate is do you have yours, DeVier?
I still have mine, yes.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yes,
It looks
yes.
good.
Played it, yeah.
So I dig in. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Little mini football, okay. Back simpler times, DeVier. This is what you used to get for free.
Yes,
We're like, here, I'll give you this.
That was pre-NIL.
You can have this. Wait, look at this nice souvenir. I'm like, oh, well, thank you, Rose Bowl. I'm like, okay. So then.
What else we got? What else we got?
Then I go further. I'm like, oh, the game day hat.
That's before snapbacks. That's Velcro.
This is prime 2010 right here.
There it is.
Dane, let him hear the Velcro through the microphone there. Let him get a little of the Velcro action.
Oh, wow. That was good.
Yeah, that's before snapbacks, folks. And then, guys, I find the warm-ups.
The gray.
DeVier, I look down at the warm-up and I say, something's not right here. And I wanted you guys to experience live what I experienced last night. So, DeVier, you can narrate this thing.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe this.
There we go. All right, so Dane's taking off his hoodie. Dane has on his hoodie. He's taking it off. If you're watching YouTube, join.
People are getting their money's worth right now.
Here we go.
On YouTube.
Dane, that's a 5X.
No way you fit that. There's no way you
And I checked, guys, I checked the tag. It's got my number on it. I was like, this can't be right. It's mine. Now check this out. No.
What did they
No, check this out. This is not.
That is crazy. Hey, listen. Wait, just put the arms out there. Hey, listen. Dane was somewhere in 2010 running around Southern California
now, hold
with
on.
this big
it gets
ass
better.
jersey shirt on.
It looks like he stole it from an offensive lineman. That's what this looks like.
DeVier, explain what you're seeing right now, because I'm experiencing this by myself last night.
You look like a Jabberwocky right now. Look, this is crazy. The size on these travel suits. Oh my Lord.
It's ridiculous. Who was an offensive lineman?
You got to wear that for the whole
Stand next to DeVier. That'll be a good shot for the camera. That'll be a good shot for the camera. Insane.
Look at, he can't even get his hands out of this thing. It's so huge.
Okay, Dane, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Did you pick this size? How did this go down?
You know, Matty, I want to shout out to a time when you just took what size they gave you.
Yep.
I was looking at this, and I'm trying to rack my brain.
Yep.
Did I not protest this? I didn't say anything.
Well, you didn't have any
equipment.
You didn't have any.
Oh my goodness!
NIL evaluation.
I didn't say any. You just gave me. I put it on, and it took me 15 years to realize this isn't the right size.
Yep. No, but at the time you were bigger back then. You were bigger.
You know what? I wasn't. That's what makes this like you put this on and people are like, "Oh man, you must have." No. I have not shrunk.
Oh,
I'm the same size I was.
I got bigger.
And this tracksuit is so ridiculous that I didn't even think to say anything.
Okay.
Like we were just like, we're killing it. It's 2010. It's
a nice tracksuit. It's just way too big. Was yours that? Do you remember yours fitting that same way, Depot?
Mine is every
just
one of
like
mine is big like that. It was a point in time where I wore baggy jeans. I gave jeans away to Mike Adams, and they fit Mike Adams. Like, we used to wear big clothes.
It looks like that would be Mike Adams.
There's
tracksuit right there.
I requested 2X at one time in my life.
Yeah, there's big cuts, but then there's just too big doesn't fit you. There's dirt from where it's dragging on the ground.
No, you were supposed to warm up in that on the field. You were supposed to warm over that.
Matty, I rolled up in Pasadena to the granddaddy of them all wearing this.
Oh my goodness!
You can't make. How did I muster confidence enough to have 8 catches in that game?
I don't know.
The audacity of you.
The audacity. I rolled in, cameras flashing like, yep, we're about to kill this.
Dane Sanzenbacher right there.
I just certainly didn't remember it like this. So I just needed to share this. I was like, this is too good to keep to myself. This was a simpler time, folks. They give you a mini football, and you take the 2X when they give you the 2X. All right, let's just go play, boys. Let's go get them.
You better catch that 3rd and 2.
You better catch that 3rd and 2. Let's go get them, boys. It's all for the memories.
It's sad to me that you guys couldn't check off a box like, hey, you know what? I need a large for this. No. They hit you with like a 2 to 3X and just said,
I think this was the minimum. There was no box to check. I don't recall. Your guess would be as good as mine, but this is what I have to remember.
Well, honestly, it would be like, dang, we ordered 1. That was it. It was just like, we ordered 1 for you. This is how tight the budget is. This is what you get. We ordered 1.
They're just like, what's the we can just order 1 size for everybody, but we got to fit like between like Dane and Mike Adams. Let's try XL. It'll be tight on one, big on the other.
Oh man, what a way to start the show. What a way to start the new year. Absolutely incredible. That thing's staying on now until we get out of here. It's staying on now.
I got good luck
until we get out of here. Oh my goodness. Happy game day, folks. When we come back, we will look back to last night. I want to get the guys' take on what they saw between Penn State, Boise State, and then we'll get this thing rolling, talking Ohio State and Oregon the rest of the way. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
The 2 most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for my team at Valley Ford of Columbus. 2025 is here, and as a real Valley Ford customer, I urge you to get online to see all the New Year savings at valleyfordofcolumbus.com. Ford F-150, Bronco Sports, Mustang Mach-E's. Valley has the massive selection to choose from, plus the lease and financing deals that have you rolling into 2025 with huge savings. Go to valleyfordofcolumbus.com today for all the details. That's valleyfordofcolumbus.com.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
What are your plans this winter? Snowy walk in the park? Curl up by the fire with a nice book? Get stuck in the hospital with COVID-19? If that last one isn't in your plans, and surely it's not, then consider getting an updated vaccine. Because if you're 65 or older, you're 14 times more likely to be hospitalized with COVID-19 than someone under 50. So get your updated vaccine and make the most of this winter. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Rims, I assume you're sticking around for the last segment? I am not leaving. I know you're not. Until you leave the studio and we can walk out hand in hand. I got it.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Make your New Year's Eve celebration and football watch party a good deal better with Meijer. Fresh guac is always a hit. Mix up a batch with extra large fresh avocados. Now buy one, get one free. And Meijer tortilla chips are a perfect match. Assorted Meijer chips are 3 for $6 when you buy 3 or more. And Coca-Cola and Pepsi 12 packs are buy 2, get 1 free. Plus deposit where applicable. Bring more good to your holiday celebrations at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See the Meijer app for details.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Year-end pricing. New Kias under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
$5? You see, Max, the holidays drive everyone crazy. Especially Great Lakes Kia.
Hi, mister. Did you hear? Year-end pricing.
Thanks, kid, but my credit's in the doghouse. No offense, Max.
If you've got a job, you ride.
A job, eh? Go on.
Lease new Kia K4, K5, and Sorrentos. All 3 under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
That's only $149 a month for 24 months.
New 25 Kia K5 LXS, K4 LXS, and Sorrento LX. Standard with 3rd row seating. All 3 under $5 a day. Save thousands.
Thousands?
And we have 0% financing.
I'm tingly. I can't take it.
You're happy.
New Kias under $5 a day.
During the season of New Tradition sales event.
Great cars.
Great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. How do you know it's Buckeye game day? Because I've ripped my shirt off in celebration. Do you like the Brutus tattoo on my chest? This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Welcome back in. Happy New Year. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. I'm Matty Ice. Got the former Buckeye wide receivers in the house. Dane, Sanzenbacher, DeVier, Posey, getting you ready for Ohio State and Oregon round 2 out at the granddaddy of them all, 5 o'clock kick. We'll have you locked and loaded right here on the Fan all day. Don't go anywhere. Before we start diving into Bucks and Ducks, let's go back to last night, because here we are now with a team from the Big Ten going to the semifinal of the college football playoff. Penn State gets it done in round 1 against SMU, 38-10. Last night, they get it done in the Fiesta Bowl by a final score of 31-14. Just wanted to pick your guys' brains on what you what you saw last night and what you think of Penn State now moving forward.
Damn rookie. Turn off your mute button. All I was going to say is, what do you think, DeVier?
Oh, well, watching that game, me and you, Matty, yesterday, we were talking about just when it's a team like Boise State, they have a very talented player. Yeah. And then you have Penn State, who they recruit like Ohio State, right, in terms of talent. And when you get in these bouts when it's possession for possession, Boise's penalties, Boise's field position could not get them. Like they just, you can't go possession for possession. Mm-hmm. And as these games are as the bracket is getting smaller, clean football has to be played for you to win. There's no, I missed a field goal, I have 7 penalties in one half, and we found out a way to win, and we won the game. Nah. These teams are too good. The margin of error is too small. And I just felt like Penn State, hey, we're stacking the box. And if we stack this box, we're going to wear out Ashton Jeanty. Now, Ashton Jeanty still wore out the defense. He fought for an ugly 104. It was ugly. It was ugly, but he still got 104. And they made, what's his name, Mercer, the quarterback.
His name is
Matson. And it was like, hey, we want this guy to beat us with his arm. Yeah. And he just didn't have enough accuracy and timing and stuff.
You know what I noticed? And I think I'm going to be curious whether or not this becomes a trend, especially in the early round matchups of the college football playoff. You can have an Ashton Jeanty, but you ain't got the dudes we got in the trenches. For a program like Penn State going up against a Boise State, or a program like Penn State going up against an SMU, you may have some of the talent on the outside that can make some noise. But I think that's just, to my eye, what I saw last night is the Abdul Carters of the world, the D-line up front.
Yeah,
Boise State just didn't have the horses to move around a program like a Penn State.
I would say, I don't think it's even that level of just size and speed. I just think they don't have enough killers. Like, they just don't have enough, like, people position for position. Like, this guy is one of the best people in the country at his position.
And that's what we talked about, right?
Yeah.
It's in the Notre Dame Indiana game. There's a feel of, okay, well, just roster for roster, when you get down to player 15, player 20, and beyond that, they just don't have the dudes.
So we could do an experiment, maybe like Ohio State makes it to the Final Four. You can probably go position group for position group, Dane, and like size and speed like match up. Like the teams that make it to the Final Four is like, you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's the tough argument that everybody's making when you're trying to make sense out of all the bracketing and the playoff system is how, what are we looking for here? Mm-hmm. Are you trying to find what you're saying? And if you are, really hard task to do if you're just like looking at records and what people have played. Sometimes there's teams that just have dudes. Okay, they lost some games, lost a lot of games, but they've got dudes. You know what? Hate to say it,
Michigan
has dudes. That's what I'm. So it's like, yes, we should have won that game, favored to win that game, but they've got 4 defense and offensive linemen that were first team all conference that are some dudes, and if you run into them, they're going to show up. So, I mean, I think you're right, Matty. You're going to see it more and more in this playoff. Depth really matters, and that's not like first string, second string. When I say depth, I mean talent across every position. Okay, so when you have that, it's a matter of time. It's a long game. It's a matter of time before it shows up somewhere. Yeah. Ohio State could do it against Indiana because, Indiana played a great first half. Over time, you can't account for a guy returning a punt. You can't account for every little thing, and it just wears on you. So I think that type of depth, that like from sideline to sideline, they've got guys. Yeah. And I don't even know that Penn State is the best example of that. They've got enough to get past Boise. I'm not sure watching that game I learned anything I didn't think already about like where Penn State is.
State was.
Yeah, I mean,
I know they could win. Yeah.
It was a game they could win, and it's a game they won. So I'm like, I think the next round will be a more interesting one than this one.
They got lucky with a nice route to the Final Four.
Man, I didn't even want to go there because I want to keep this positive in the new year.
But Depot's right. I mean, being on that side of the bracket, when you look at that side of the bracket versus where we're at today with 5 o'clock kick between Ohio State and Oregon, a lot of people think the winner of this is going to go on to win it all, but you probably have to go through Texas in your next round. Yeah. Bottom of the bracket, you're looking at a Notre Dame team that's beat up. You're looking at a Georgia team without their starting quarterback.
Well, honestly, in reality, that seeding should have been Ohio State's. Like, and I'm not saying that's just the one mess up to me. It's why is Penn State seeded higher? Because they're rewarded because they played in the Big Ten. It was just like, it just kind of blew my mind. I think
everybody's mind's kind of getting blown right now because like you're a casual sports fan, whatever. But people are watching sports like, okay, ABC. ESPN. Okay, guys, you're going to try to convince me that this Penn State and Boise State game is really, really good, important game? I don't mean to be mean, but what are we talking about? That's the third best team in the Big Ten, maybe fourth.
Yeah.
You're making good points.
Something was amiss. It was an entertaining-ish game. I didn't learn anything about Penn State. You'll learn something more next round. Yep. Boise, outstanding year, and Genty's a dude. I just don't think they had the amount of dudes to be able to carry through a team like Penn State.
There's a lot of weight that's wrapped around the conference championship. And I think to your point, when you talk about Penn State and you within us all watching Ohio State go into their house and beat them, and just because they got into a conference championship, that's a big data point. It's a big data point. Right.
That beat you.
It's a big data point for the people in the committee. And so all of this, I think, will or needs to get cleaned up. Maybe there needs to be a reseeding when we get to the bracket and do it that way. Maybe that'll help a little bit. I just happen to think where we were with 4 teams was exactly where we needed to be. As far as
I like having a lot of football
but Depot, there's not 12 teams that are worthy of a national championship contention. I just don't think that's ever going to be the case. Well, I understand.
I get what you're saying. Like I get that, but also I do like the fact that you have to play the game. Like I just like the fact that you have to prove it, and I like that you have to have depth. Like for a team like Georgia, who might have just been voted into the Final Four. Well, let's really see if Gunnar Stockton and do you have this depth? Like Dane is saying, like, can programs like Georgia and Ohio State, who has a remanned offensive line, Georgia has a remanned quarterback room, Texas had to go through some injuries this year. You think about Notre Dame, they're battling some stuff with their D-line. Are these rosters really built? And I enjoy I like having football on this week.
I hear what you're saying.
Great.
But I don't think we're off to a great start with this new college football playoff and how some of these games
I don't have a vote for the Heisman like you do. No, like I'm not taking it that serious. I'm just watching it entertainment. Maddie's like,
that's where we need to be. That's where I think I think this is at the point you just need to be watching this for entertainment. Yeah, because they're so far
entertained. I haven't been entertained so far. I haven't.
It hasn't been a good game.
You look at the first round.
Have another espresso martini. That's your own fault, Matt. You're not entertained. You got too high expectations. It was a fun game.
Hey, listen, I'll be entertained.
Hey, listen, what are you normally doing this week, bro? You're like, I'm about to try and watch this Cleveland versus Timberwolves game and take it seriously before New Year. So you ain't doing nothing.
There's nobody listening to us that enjoyed the first round of the playoff. That's my point. I think we're going to get that more times than not. And I could be wrong, and maybe it'll change. But I think the programs will be the programs, and where we're at with this bracket, it's just too many teams baked into this thing.
I think you're right, Matty, but I also like DeVier's mindset better. So my resolution this year is to be like DeVier. I'm not even going to try to unpack what they're trying to do here. Okay, you're trying to sell me a product. Let's just consume it. Okay, cool. 12 teams, seed them, just shuffle up the numbers.
Okay, I'm curious.
These bowl games feel a little more weighty than guys sitting out. Right? Like that was the alternative. It was Boise playing against Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl, and it meant nothing. Abdul Carter would have been Ashton Jitney wouldn't even have played, Dane. So they have something on the line. I like it.
That part of the debate I do agree with. Yeah. I do like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I wonder how you guys are going to feel about 4 o'clock when Texas is dominating Arizona State in the second round of the playoff.
Hey, man.
It's just fun. We're just here to have fun.
Hey, hear that fun.
Blow up DeVier's Twitter, Instagram, whatever, if that starts to happen. You having fun, man. DP?
Yeah, yep.
Coming up next, top of the hour, you'll hear from Coach Day in our What They're Saying segment, his thoughts on Oregon, where his team is coming into this one. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan pregame show right here on The Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Toyota-thon is on. The perfect time to save on a new Toyota truck. Now through January 6th, get a great lease deal or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 or 25 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or get 3.99 APR financing plus $1,000 APR cash on remaining new 24 Tacomas. With approved credit through TFS. Excludes TRD Pro and Trailhunter models. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds trucks better than Toyota. Let's go places.
Replace your furnace with Logan AC and Heat Services. Get a free Trane furnace with the purchase of an air conditioner and 0% APR financing for 72 months. Get a free indoor air quality product when you schedule your installation by the end of the month. We offer a system for every home and every budget. And with same-day estimates and next-day installation, it's hard to stop a Trane. Schedule your free estimate now and get fast, friendly service from Logan Services.
Hey friends, Beamer here. You know what sold me on Awaken 180 weight loss? Losing 12 pounds in my first week. I mean, wouldn't you be all in after that? But you know what's really got me completely hooked? I'm now down 19 pounds in just 2 weeks. 19 pounds. Look, when I started the program, I knew that I needed fast results to stick with any program I was going to do. And I thought, hey, if I can lose 5 or 10 pounds in 2 weeks, that's going to be a win. Well, I blew that out of the water, all thanks to Awaken 180. I'm not the only one who did it. Our good friend Austin Ward, he dropped 17 pounds in his first 2 weeks, 50 pounds overall. The results we're having, they are real, and we did it without meds. We did it by eating to lose weight with the coaching to ensure we lose weight every week. More importantly, to ensure that we enjoy the process. I, for one, certainly am. I mean, who wouldn't want someone else to do the work? They plan out the food you like, work around your schedule, and you, well, you lose weight. Simple as that. I dropped 19 pounds in 2 weeks. It's that easy. Do what we all did. Start your year out with a solution for weight loss. All at awaken180weightloss.com.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV. We're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
what's it like to have a yard?
Can lead to an even bigger question like,
am I ready to buy a home?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you, prepared to talk about everything you need to know when applying for a mortgage, so you can try to turn those backyard dreams into reality. Paul?
Yes?
Question. Are you a hammock person?
You know, I think I might be.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. NMLS 399797, Equal Housing Lender.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with the sound of freshness, the sound of sizzle, the sound of savings. With new low prices on hundreds of your favorite produce items, deals for days on over 1,000 items throughout the store, plus weekly sales and My Perks for even more savings at the pump. Surround yourself with savings every time you shop at your neighborhood Giant Eagle. Visit gianteagle.com for details.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has added new strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today, and you can be one of the first to try it out. We're raising the bar with new benches, and our new hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all of the best-in-class equipment we've always had, with most clubs open 24 hours, so you can work out your way on your time. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 10th. See Home Club for details.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for my team at Valley Ford of Columbus. 2025 is here, and as a real Valley Ford customer, I urge you to get online to see all the New Year's savings at valleyfordofcolumbus.com. Ford F-150, Bronco Sports, Mustang, Mach-E's. Valley has the massive selection to choose from, plus the lease and financing deals that have you rolling into 2025 with huge savings. Go to valleyfordofcolumbus.com today for all the details. That's valleyfordofcolumbus.com.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Betty Wells. We've made our way to game day number 2 of the postseason for Ohio State. As today, the Buckeyes are in Pasadena for a matchup against the top-seeded Oregon Ducks at the Rose Bowl. in the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. Kickoff is at 5 o'clock today. Our pregame coverage here on the Fan will take you right up to the network coverage, which will get started at 3:30. In the three other quarterfinal games of the CFP, last night, Penn State jumped out to an early 14-0 lead, and then they pulled away late as they beat Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl 31-14. Today's tripleheader games will get started at 1 o'clock. That's when Texas will face Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. And in the nightcap tonight, Notre Dame meets Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Kickoff in New Orleans is at 8:45. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, your F-150 headquarters and the official dealership of Carnell Tate. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Getting you ready for another Buckeye victory. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. It's time to find out what they're saying.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Matty, Dane, Sanzenbacher, DeVier, Posey, couple former Buckeye wide receivers in the house. Let's get right to it. Here's Coach Day on facing Oregon for a second time this season.
Oregon certainly, in that game played a tremendous game and has continued to get better as the season's gone on. But I think both teams are just in a different place than we were midway through the season. And, it's going to come down to the play on the field. And, there's a balance there of the things that your team has built their foundation on, but also having change-ups and mix-ups, and it's about matchups. And we know that it's about matchups on our end, it's about matchups on their end, and then understanding that in all three phases it all has to work together. So you see this in the NFL playoffs a lot, where teams will play each other again later on in the season. This is an example of that. So you're going to see it more and more as we move forward. And it's just going to become part of college football.
Dane, when you go back to round one of Ducks and Bucks, there's so much to unpack from that game. The last image, unfortunately, for Buckeye Nation and Will is the slide, right? That wasn't timely. But going back to that game, where does your mind go when you think about what went wrong for Ohio State out there in Eugene?
When I think about that game, I have positive feelings about how Ohio State played. So this was because I prep for these shows and I'm a good employee of 97.1 The Fan.
Is he saying we don't?
I'm not saying anybody. I'm just saying this is how I like to operate.
That was definitely a shot at me.
Shot at somebody.
Guys.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So what I'm saying.
This is how he was I studied the game plan, so I should get the most passes. This is Dane.
I'm happy you guys finally in my life said that.
The real Dane is here today.
This is the guy I had to compete against, right?
I'm just in this suit, and I'm reverting back to my old days. My passive-aggressive comments are coming out. But all that to say, I watched the game again after I watched it on TV. So I went back and went through it and tried not to get caught up, just like as if I'm watching tape. Ohio State played really well, especially on offense. Okay, on offense, they click. Will played well, aside from being a tough.
Had a really good game.
Really good game.
He had a really good game.
When I watched it back, the disappointment from the loss felt more like, okay, there was some fluky stuff here. There was the weird onside kick. There's a weird strip fumble. There's your All-American corner getting burnt twice. It won't. I don't think that's a normal set of circumstances.
Do you think that the game was like the type of loss in the terms of football wasn't a bad football loss, but like everybody's rhetoric around Ryan Day and his team and big games made it feel worse?
I guess, from my perspective, it didn't feel like a bad loss.
Right. Like when you turn on the film, it's not a bad loss.
It wasn't a bad loss. It's one that you wanted to win, but I think most people took it as that's a tough environment. It's early in the season.
Well, it was one side that took it that way, and then the other side was like, fire the guy, fire everybody.
I mean, I didn't hear that.
Well,
maybe you're listening to the same stuff Herbie's listening to.
Well, no, I just literally felt like it was one side or the other. It was because we were on that side, this wasn't bad. Then there was a crowd that was like, this is a horrible.
Well, there was a whole atmosphere, and we said it before. Going into this season, when you're gonna when you're going to crown a king before the seasons even start, you can only go down. Mm-hmm. So it was like we knew this team was built to be the best talent. So as fans, obviously, we're like, oh, they can't lose. And then they went out there and you're like, oh, man, I thought we were going to roll Oregon. But that's why I say in hindsight, it didn't feel to me like a bad loss. And I think as the season went on, I don't think it hung over this Ohio State team that much. I think as Oregon, and mostly because Oregon continued to win. Mm-hmm. You know, I think as Oregon continued to win, I think, you're 4 weeks out from it. That was a largely forgivable loss. You're like, okay, we lost to the number one team. They're still cooking. I think everybody still felt really good about this Buckeye team until that last game of the year. But I look at that game as a positive. It makes me feel good about this matchup because I think Coach Day talked about it in that clip. It's about matchups. Mm-hmm. I think we match up well with this team. I think talent for talent, I think we've got the guys to do it if they play clean.
Yeah, man. This game, man, when you talk about what was all baked into it, just Oregon coming to the Big Ten for the first time, I just felt like it was a huge, letdown for this team in terms of it being our first litmus test marker. This is our first good team that we're going against, and it was just a letdown. And when I turned on the tape, what I saw was we had a lot of plays that we really should, there were 6 plays that it could have been like a 14-point lead for us, right?
Left a lot on the table.
We left a lot on the table, and it was just more like, hey, what Will Howard has been saying this week, this is about us. If you go back to that Oregon game and with that mindset, all right, let's look at us. In the mirror, we didn't play good. And Oregon left some things on the table, but I felt like our mistakes were larger and we, tripped over our feet more than Oregon did.
Plenty of times. In that game, it was 8 penalties for Ohio State, right? So you're talking about the strip fumble, the onside kick, and you can't get out your own way. And on the road, as you know, that's an absolute killer.
Too. Just we just had a bad scheme on defense that day.
Neither team played perfect, though, either. That's what you saw, too, when you're watching it. There was mistakes on both sides. I do, if I'm just thinking back on this season, though, that was one of my favorite games of this year. I'm glad we get to run it back because all things considered, fun game, man. Awesome environment, and it was an introduction to this is a new Big Ten thing that we got going. Yeah. So aside from the ending, I also remember that game as that was fun. It was the most fun game I watched this year, aside from
Herbie. Speaking of Herbie, he voted it the game of the year for the Herbie Awards.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's a good vote. That's a good call.
Point, Dane. If you didn't have an emotional tie to either program, the game was a banger. Yeah. The same way we saw that first matchup between Georgia and Texas, where Georgia gets down big in the game, and then they find a way to come back, and there was just so many big-time plays in that. When you're caught up in it as a Buckeye fan or player, it just feels so much worse. And like you guys were talking about, this roster was talked about as one of the best, and that's coming from Urban. That's coming from Tress, one of the best rosters they've ever seen. Yeah. And you get into a measuring stick game against a team that's the new kid on your block and people are hyping them up and picking them to win a national championship, and it doesn't go your way and it feels sour. Now, I think you were going down the road of also what added to a bit of that pain for the fans was, man, these top 5 matchups under Coach Day's watch,
it seemed like
really haven't gone our way. Yeah. And so it felt even worse because of that, right? We got these good dudes. We got Will Howard. We got Caleb Downs, and we go into Eugene, to your point, and play a pretty damn good game. But you're just on the losing side of things. But now here you are with the ability to get off the mat. I want to play this for you from Coach Day, because you guys talked about the schematics on defense and the big plays that were given up. Here he is looking back on that game and what happened on D.
That was a huge part of the game, and I thought that Coach Stein and everybody on their staff did a great job of scheming up some plays to attack us, and then they did a great job of executing them. I thought the route running and the throwing and catching and protection, it all goes in together, and they did a great job of that, creating exploits, and that's, as we all know, a huge factor in winning and losing games. And coming out of that game, we certainly recognized that. That was no secret. So we've worked hard to make adjustments in those areas. We know that we're going to see a lot of the same type of things coming into this game. I'm sure it's not going to be the same exact style, but they're still going to have those type of ways to attack us. So we got to do a great job of getting lined up. We got to do a great job of communicating. And then post-snap, we got to run to the football and understand what's going on.
So here's what I want to do. I want to take a break, and I want to come back, and I want to get your guys' thoughts thoughts on defensive adjustments and what needs to happen in this game, because that's going to be such a big deal with all the talent Oregon has on that side of the ball. We'll do that and hit you with our one tough animal for this week next. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan pregame show right here on The Fan.
If you don't like listening to Morning Juice, Bobby Carpenter's man nipples will punch you in the face. For real.
You want to fight, do you? Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Tri-State Men's Health today. Because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Tri-State Men's Health will give you back your sex life. Because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Every hockey player dreams of a hat trick.
And if you've ever seen one, you know it's a thrill when the hats hit the ice.
And now, it's hats off to Honda Marysville, because this season, every time a Blue Jacket scores a hat trick at Nationwide Arena,
Honda Marysville will give one lucky fan a 2-year lease on a new Honda Civic Sport on the spot.
So come to a game and cheer us on. Who knows?
A new car from Honda Marysville might be closer than you think.
Official rules at HondaMarysville.com/hat trick.
In the U.S., there are about 60 million adults 65 and older. And last year, nearly 1 million of them were hospitalized due to flu, COVID, or RSV. That's nearly 1 million people who planned to go visit family or see friends, but ended up in the hospital instead. So get this season's vaccines, and don't let flu, COVID, or RSV make you just another number.
Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Replace your furnace with Logan AC and Heat Services. Get a free trade furnace with the purchase of an air conditioner and 0% APR financing for 72 months. Get a free indoor air quality product when you schedule your installation by the end of the month. We offer a system for every home and every budget. And with same-day estimates and next-day installation, it's hard to stop a train. Schedule your free estimate now and get fast, friendly service from Logan Services.
Year-end pricing. New Kias under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
$5? You see, Max, the holidays drive everyone crazy! Especially Great Lakes Kia.
Hi, mister. Did you hear? Year-end pricing.
Thanks, kid, but my credit's in the doghouse. No offense, Max.
If you've got a job, you ride.
A job, eh? Go on.
Lease new Kia K4, K5, and Sorrentos. All three under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
That's only $149 a month for 24 months.
New 25 Kia K5 LXS, K4 LXS, and Sorrento LX. Standard with third row seating. All three under $5 a day. Save thousands.
Thousands?
And we have 0% financing.
I'm tingly. I can't take it.
You're happy.
New Kias under $5 a day.
During the season of New Tradition sales event.
Great cars.
Great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy New Year. Today, it is going to be cloudy, cold, and dreary. We will see a few snow flurries from time to time. Today's high will be around 35. Tonight, we drop it on down below freezing. Then we get a little bit more sunshine on your Thursday with a high of 34. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
It's game day on the Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Have fun. Keep your pads on. Go Bucks. Always and forever your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your flagship home for Buckeye football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The Fan's one tough animal.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. All right, I'm kicking it off this week. My one tough animal, I think he's appeared on the show a few times throughout the year. I'm going with Kyle McCord.
Whoa.
He ended the season with a banger. Call it what you want. It was the Holiday Bowl. They played Washington State, but 24-34, 453, 5 touchdowns. The numbers are the numbers.
Matty can't get over his ex-girlfriend.
The numbers, no, I'm good. I'm absolutely good on that. But listen, this man.
No, I wasn't talking about the real. I'm talking about Kyle.
He's been productive, Dane.
It's your ex,
you got to
man.
give it to him.
All right, you got
to give it to him. You got to give it to him. The dude has been balling last 3 games for Kyle McCord, 10 touchdowns, no picks. So Kyle McCord put a nice little cherry on his Sunday to end the year with a nice little game against Washington State. So he's my one tough animal this week.
Let's go ahead, Dane.
I'm giving it, and this is shout out, full circle, ringing in the new year for my man, Matty Ice. I'll give it back to our boy Ashton Genty. Now, they didn't pull it out, right? But he got himself beat up in that game and did everything he could. Like DeVier said earlier, that was just over 100 yards, and they were grimy yards. He everybody on that Penn State defense got him at some point. So it's a one tough animal for that game, but also capping the year. That dude, I mean, he is the reason that we watched Boise State on New Year's Eve.
No question.
He's the guy. I mean, obviously they had some other players around him, but he's the one that put the team on his back and got him to this point. Yeah. And he was tough all year. And I thought he was still pretty good last night, man. It's just like he didn't have any space. So that's my guy. One last time for Ashton Genty this year.
What I felt like last night that was solidified is you're a superhuman versus Boise's schedule, but you're still a pro because you can still give me 100 versus like a top defense. Like, he's a pro, man. There's just no way about it. And even those runs that he would like that they were stuffing, you know what I noticed? Bro, he didn't fall. He didn't hit the ground. Like, maybe the refs were blowing it early, but it was like, that's crazy balance to me. It's like you got 2 defensive linemen holding up and you're like, I'm still not falling.
Did you see his left trigger juke step in the hole that one time? It looked like a video game. So I was giving it his love because it was like, whoop.
The dude is legit. He's worthy of a first round pick to me all day and tomorrow.
And he really stands. He just really stands
straight up
in the backfield, bro. Yeah. It's so unique.
And there's kids doing that now.
It's just so unique.
It's a movement now for kids in like high school. I saw it on TikTok, social media. Like a lot of people are taking that from him. But yeah, dude's been an absolute dog all year. We've been talking about him. Yeah. You get into a game where your offensive line can't carve out clean lanes the way they have all year, and there's only so much you can do. But I think we'll be talking about him in the league, man, in the next couple years. Is an absolute problem. You got a one tough animal?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have a Roth Star or any other time to give this guy a shout out, give him his flowers. He was battling some contract negotiations, had a hammy earlier this year. You finished the season 11 catches for 131 and 3 tutties. My man T. Higgins. I got to give it to T.E.E., man. Okay. Shout out T.
The former Clemson Tiger popping up. Yeah, that was big for him.
Big performance that night.
Could have been his last game down in the jungle.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
That's one way to like, hey, you know, I'm at the negotiation table. Remember my last game? There you go.
He's going to get it back from somebody, that's for sure. The Fan Pregame Show is presented by KeyBank. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Before we went to break, we played a clip from Coach Day talking about the last game and some of the things that went wrong on the defensive end. He said within that clip that there's been adjustments made since that game. When you guys come back to this game against Oregon, Jim Knowles, the defensive side of the ball, when you hear that they've made adjustments, you've seen some adjustments, I'm sure, as well. How do you think their approach, what does the approach look like in your mind today going up against this explosive offense?
This is like a real full circle moment for this Ohio State team because that early matchup was the moment that made this defense adjust.
Yeah.
Like they looked in the mirror after the first Oregon game, made all the changes they needed to make, and really played lights out from then on out on the defensive side of the ball. So it's like it's cool to see it come back around. Now, Coach Day said in the clip before, too, these aren't the same teams they were back then. Like, there's been a lot of football played between them. Both have gotten better. But to see, like, you get another shot at the team that sparked your change, because to Ohio State's credit, they looked in the mirror. Jim Knowles looked in the mirror, said, all right, we've got to make some adjustments. We've got to get a little bit more aggressive. We've got to try some things. They did, and now get to test out those adjustments again out in Pasadena. And, Matty, as much as you said, to this point, the playoff hasn't really given you something. I think you're going to find redemption at 5 o'clock because we're watching the pregame. In game aside, it is the prettiest venue in college football.
Absolutely.
They plan it out to hit sunset in the second half. I think you're going to get your money's worth. Like, this is the dream matchup, like, for, like, the playoff committee to have Oregon, Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
Completely agree.
It could save the whole thing.
Completely
It could
agree.
save the whole thing.
DeVier was talking about the grass, during one of the segments. You said, you could pick your mouthpiece up and
You drop a mouthpiece, don't even wipe it off. And hey, like it's just like the grass is just perfect. It's just perfectly groomed. The weather is probably amazing. But no, so in terms of adjustments, and Coach knows, this Ohio State football team, since that game, has not given up a passing touchdown. And you talk about the level of execution that Oregon tossed the ball around that day with. Like, there wasn't clunky drives where it's like, Dylan Gabriel overthrew the corner route, or he threw it to a stop right on the sideline and it was broken up. Then they ran the ball. Then they completed a deep dig. No. Everything they wanted, everything that was on the table passing-wise, flats, slants, in-breaking, go routes, out-breaking routes, they had their taking because we were in soft coverage, and our soft coverage, like when the top is blown off the top coverage, guess what you get? You get over top, and you get under. So it's like, and then even on top of that, another level is I also got double moves too, because now that you're playing soft, I can stop under you with 4 yards of cushion. I can run by you like he did, or I can stop for a second. Hey, come down here, Denzel. I'm not over there. Bye-bye. Double move. And so they had all of those things, and they were executing. And for this team to be able to say, okay, we can't let it – we haven't faced a passer in a receiver unit that can execute every single pass and every single pass route concept. Oregon can. So now this mindset is the same mindset that any NFL defensive secondary has. It's like, we got to take something away within this. Like, either we're taking away the vertical, either we're taking away the underneath, either we're taking away the middle of the field. We're going to push all out breaking, but that decision needs to be made. And I think that team started playing that way as we faced better passers. I think we placed Raiola, we placed Aller after that. So we had some good passers to test this theory against.
No, that's a good breakdown. And you mentioned mindset, and I heard something from Denzel Burke this week that I actually thought was encouraging, right? Because he was the guy that, there's a lot of chatter about. It wasn't a good game. Maybe his worst game as a Buckeye, but he said, quote, I've been trying to stay away from the word vengeance. He said, really, I just want to go out there and be me and have fun and be me. And I like that he's not
thank goodness.
coming
That's
into
the
this thing,
answer.
right? Because I agree, right?
But it bothered him, though, for sure.
Of course it did, right? Of course it did. It bothered him, but I think to hear that he's not wrapped up in the emotion in a negative way and coming out with this kind of whole get back vibe. Because you guys tell me, I just feel like sometimes you can get lost in the sauce.
Hey, listen, man. For Stephon Gilmore, Trayvon Diggs, for Joey Porter Jr., for first-round cornerbacks, the position they had him in is the hardest position to be in. You're in cover 3, all man. Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is you don't have TJ Watt. You don't have Joey Bosa. We're not getting home. Yeah. So I'm guarding this man for 7 seconds.
Well, that's a big part of this as well, because in that first game, Dylan Gabriel did not touch the turf at all. There was not a sack there. There were some decent pressures throughout the game.
It's tough.
But I think what's encouraging is the way the secondary played against Tennessee, but also what happened up front. It paired well with JT and Jack and those guys combining for almost 4 sacks in that game. It's a critical game for those guys, right?
Well, it definitely, I'm sure it still bothered him, but that is like the mindset I would think is the good one to have going in is what he described. Going in for vengeance as a corner, that does you no good. I think at this point, play your game, trust that you are going to be put in good positions. And if everybody on Ohio State shows up and just does their job, there's no need to do a vengeance game. All you got to do, play the game, do your job. You've made the adjustments.
Just execute.
Yeah, just execute. And I think like DeVier said, like this defense has made the proper changes, has tested it out against some other throwing quarterbacks. Like if you can find a way to keep that up, the only thing that still comes up from time to time, we saw with Nico, was the quarterback when he gets mobile. But that's a tough one to plan for. To the NFL level, it's a tough one to plan for. Those quarterbacks running, it's tough. So if we can find a way to hold that edge and that little bit of
contain Gabriel. He got him for that 27-yard touchdown in game number 1. We're going to go out to the left coast now and link up with the with the man that sits on the Iron Throne. Adam King from 10 TV joins us live from Pasadena after this. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan pregame show right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Toyotathon is on, and it's the perfect time to wrap up the year with a new, stylishly affordable Corolla. Now through January 6th, you can get low-rate financing or a great lease on a new Corolla or Corolla Hybrid. Lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE now for $219 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
What's better than cheering the Buckeyes on to victory? Wearing our exclusive collection of OSU jewelry as you watch. Hi, this is Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. We're an officially licensed jeweler of The Ohio State University, and we've created beautiful Buckeye jewelry that will last a lifetime. From Blocko earrings to Diamond Script Ohio necklaces, we've got luxury Buckeye gifts starting at $99. No matter where you're watching, show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey friends, Beamer here. You know what sold me on Awaken 180 weight loss? Losing 12 pounds in my first week. I mean, wouldn't you be all in after that? But you know what's really got me completely hooked? I'm now down 19 pounds in just 2 weeks. 19 pounds. Look, when I started the program, I knew that I needed fast results to stick with any program I was going to do. And I thought, hey, if I can lose 5 or 10 pounds in 2 weeks, that's going to be a win. Well, I blew that out of the water, all thanks to Awaken 180. I'm not the only one who did it. Our good friend Austin Ward, he dropped 17 pounds in his first 2 weeks, 50 pounds overall. The results we're having, they are real, and we did it without meds. We did it by eating to lose weight with the coaching to ensure we lose weight every week. More importantly, to ensure that we enjoy the process. I, for one, certainly am. I mean, who wouldn't want someone else to do the work? They plan out the food you like, work around your schedule, and you, well, you lose weight. Simple as that. I dropped 19 pounds in 2 weeks. It's that easy. Do what we all did. Start your year out with a solution for weight loss. All at awaken180weightloss.com.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron, I invented 5 new ways to say, we come through for you when you need us to.
Do we need more ways to say it?
Get Eco.
ECO. When your toilet won't flush, we come in a rush.
Get Eco.
ECO. Want a ceiling fan install? We come when you call.
Get Eco.
ECO. When the temperature is unpleasant, we fly like a pheasant.
You were kind of reaching for that one.
But I didn't reach as far as Puerto Rico.
Get Eco.
ECO.
We're standing by and ready to fly.
Oh, that's a good one.
Get Eco.
ECO. When you're in a sweat, we come in a jet.
Reaching again.
Get Eco.
ECO.
When your drain has a clog?
We'll sled with a dog.
No.
We'll surf on a log.
No.
We'll run, not jog.
Get Eco.
ECO. We do it right at the speed of light.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. We come through for you when you need us to.
GetEco.com.
At NJM Insurance, we like to think of ourselves as a symphony. We start with a foundation of doing the right thing. Then we layer in dedicated reps, whose priority is you. Add in excellent discount programs. And last, but certainly not least, we put our policyholders first. And the reason we don't use jingles or mascots is because it's just not us. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Make your New Year's Eve celebration and football watch party a good deal better with Meijer. Fresh guac is always a hit. Mix up a batch with extra large fresh avocados. Now buy one, get one free. And Meijer tortilla chips are a perfect match. Assorted Meijer chips are 3 for $6 when you buy 3 or more. And Coca-Cola and Pepsi 12 packs are buy 2, get 1 free. Plus deposit where applicable. Bring more good to your holiday celebrations at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See the Meijer app for details.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Buddy Wells. We've made our way to the second game day of the postseason for Ohio State. As today, the Buckeyes are in Pasadena for a matchup against the top-seeded Oregon Ducks at the Rose Bowl in the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. Kickoff is at 5 o'clock this evening. Our pregame coverage will here on The Fan. And I'll take you right up to the network coverage, which will get started at 3:30. And the 3 other quarterfinal games of the CFP. Last night, Penn State, they jumped out to an early 14-0 lead. And then they pulled away late as they beat Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl 31-14. Today's triple header games will get started in about 30 minutes at 1 o'clock. That's when Texas will face Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. And in the nightcap tonight, Notre Dame meets Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Kickoff in New Orleans is at 8:45. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. The best Bronco sports selection is at the official dealership of Carnell Tate. Breaking sports news. What happens on The Fan? Ohio's sports destination.
Can you smell it? Buckeye football is in the air. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home for the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Going to use the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline right now. Go out to the left coast. Link up with the man that sits on the Iron Throne. His name is Adam King from 10 TV. AK, Happy New Year, my man. You party hard last night?
Happy New Year. You know, I made it to Pacific Coast New Year, and that was a celebration in its own right.
What'd you do last night, AK?
We played cards and prepared for, put some work in for our special that starts at 4 o'clock on 10 TV.
There we go. It's game day,
That's
man.
what we call a plug right there.
There we go. Absolutely. You're just a pro's pro. You're a pro's pro. You've been around this team the last few days. You've been around Oregon, I'm sure, as well. Well, what's the vibe like when it comes to Ohio State, but more importantly, their confidence level going up against the team they lost to on the road earlier this year?
I think this is the most confident I can remember the fan base right now, and I think that's because it's resonating from the team. I think this team, they just are walking with a little bit of a swagger that I don't know that we've seen all season long, and that's a good thing. That's what you want. You've got a group of guys that feels like they showed what they can do against Tennessee. They know that they came up short in Eugene, but if they go out there and play their game, I think that's the interesting part. Is it's boring. It's boring to say, but if they just go out there and play, their game, there's a good chance they win because they've just shown that their best is better than anyone else in the country.
Hey, AK, for those of us that aren't lucky enough to get the trip out to Pasadena, can you fill us in on some of the sights and sounds out there, or the things that are going on, or just surrounding this game? If you want to touch on if their pregame warm-ups fit them well or they're ill-fitted, any of that, what are you seeing out there?
We just pulled up to the stadium, so I'm staring at it looks to be a bowl that says Rose Bowl, and it's got a nice
you're at the right place. That's it.
I'm at the right place.
That's it.
I get it. There's mountains in the background. I'll tell you what, the Shoe's a great stadium, but I'd be okay if Ohio State's home stadium was the Rose Bowl. It'd be pretty cool. There's a lot of fans out here. I think that's my biggest takeaway. A lot of Buckeye fans made the trip, and I've talked to a lot of them. What they seem to do is just kind of make a trip of it. It became a New Year's travel for all of them, and a lot are staying either after the game for a little while, or they came out a little bit earlier to spend some time. It's a different kind of feel because this is not a bowl game for a lot of people. This is, Ryan Day has said that a lot. This is a game. This is simply a playoff game. So it's changed in the fact that it's not necessarily as much of a celebration as bowl games typically are.
Oh, nice. Good insight.
That's crazy because you kind of have that end of the season feel. Let's go out on a high note, and it's more a road focus, kind of practicing on the road, setting everything up. Adam, I wanted to ask you, you're in Hollywood, man, and I always told you belong in Hollywood. Do you feel at home? home?
I will tell you this. It was very awkward. I was walking down the street, and people just kept yelling at me if I wanted to star in movies. And I said, guys, I have a job. Thank you. Dancing with the Stars was like, come on in. And I said, guys, no, I'm very busy. I can't do that right now. But,
we appreciate you sticking with us, Adam.
Yeah, Adam, thanks for staying with us, man.
I said I've got a radio call tomorrow. I can't divert to do the next James Bond. I can't do that.
Are you built for Dancing with the Stars? I don't know if he has. Are you a dancer, AK? You don't have the hips.
I am a terrible dancer, but Dancing with the Stars is about taking terrible dancers and turning them into just fantastic dancers, and that's where I would thrive. I'd work every day. I'd outwork you, DeVier, 10 times out of 10.
There's the thing. I can dance. I don't need to work. It's God-given, baby. But I wanted to ask you this. In terms of Oregon's offense, against us, they lit it up. They gained confidence. They became one of the best, passing completion teams in America. That game propelled Dylan Gabriel to the Heisman. How do we stop that connection there? It's not about Denzel Burke getting vengeance. What do we do on the defensive side of the ball to say, hey, we need to disrupt their time? And it's almost like great shooters. How do we get a hand in their face? How do we just knock down their confidence shooting? How do we disrupt this rhythm? What's the plan on the defensive side of the ball, specifically the backfield and the rush?
Well, you just answered your question in the question. You got to get a hand in his face. I mean, I remember sitting in that press box in Eugene and wondering if our defensive line made the trip. And I don't mean that with disrespect. Our defensive line's phenomenal, but they just didn't show up in that game, and they would tell you the same. I mean, they had 0 sacks. And it's not even always about sacks. Sacks is a number, but you got to get pressures. You got to make him uncomfortable. And I think they're going to do a lot of that today. I think we saw Jim Knowles. They said they re-engineered the defense after that game. We saw a lot more pressures after that game coming from different guys. I've seen Cody Simon in the backfield a ton since that game. The concern for me, and I've circled it, I've started Dylan Gabriel's legs. They're going to get to him. They are certainly going to get to him in this game. But is he going to, are they going to be able to contain him? Is he going to get out of the pocket and take off and beat him for 15 yards? Because if that happens too often, that could be a deal breaker for Ohio State here.
Yeah, Adam, I couldn't agree with you more there. We talked about it earlier on being able to contain Dylan Gabriel with his legs. He might get a couple, but can you rein that in and make it not a part of the storyline? So that's really good insight there. So as far as you, where will you be enjoying this game from, Adam? I mean, you're in, I know you said it's not a bowl game, it's a playoff game, but for those that love college football and watch it, this is the one, and this is always feels a little bit more important. So where are you going to be enjoying it from?
So this is my first Rose Bowl. So I think typically I sit up in the press box and just kind of, watch the game. I might go out and just kind of walk around and get the feel here. I want to see that sunset over the mountains. I hear, I want to see the spot where DeVier Posey caught the game winner against Oregon. I hear they've got a mark on the ground out here. I want to just experience what is the granddaddy of them all. And I think that's what a lot of fans come out here to do. Yes, I'll say this. It's not a bowl game for the team, but the pageantry of the Rose Bowl ain't going anywhere. And you can feel it just the second you get off the bus. It's just different. It's just different out here. It's the pinnacle of college football.
AK, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. It's a beautiful seat on TV. I'm jealous that you're seeing it in person, but happy for you. We'll get you out of here on this, my man. Where can the folks follow you? Social media, TV, all that good stuff today.
Adam King, 10 TV is my Twitter. And 10 TV, we got a ton of coverage. 4 o'clock, we've got a Chasing the Championship special, hour long. I'll be live inside the Rose Bowl, breaking it all down. You can hear one-on-ones with Ryan Day, Will Howard, hear from everybody pretty much. I'm not going to name the whole team. You know who they are. And then you can watch my prediction come true. I'm sticking 35-24. I think the Buckeyes get this done, and I don't necessarily know that in 5 minutes to go, this is a game. I think Ohio State might have control with about 5 minutes to go.
Okay, there we go. He's the man that sits on the Iron Throne for 10 TV. He's Adam King. AK, we appreciate you, man, joining us in the morning out there.
Sir, I cannot star in your movie. I'm sorry.
Listen, man. AK, safe travels, getting back, man, and Happy New Year, my man. Enjoy the game.
See you guys.
All right, there goes Adam King, was on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. When we come back, we'll hit you with our Behind Enemy Lines segment. Rob Mosley from GoDucks.com will let you know what's going on with Oregon coming into this second matchup against Ohio State. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan pregame show right here on The Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination.
Year-end pricing. New Kias under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
$5? You see, Max, the holidays drive everyone crazy. Especially Great Lakes Kia.
Hi, mister. Did you hear? Year-end pricing.
Thanks, kid, but my credit's in the doghouse. No offense, Max.
If you've got a job, you ride.
A job, eh? Go on.
Lease new Kia K4, K5, and Sorrentos. All three under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
That's only $149 a month for 24 months.
New 25 Kia K5 LXS, K4 LXS, and Sorrento LX. Standard with third row seating. All three under $5 a day. Save thousands.
Thousands?
And we have 0% financing.
I'm tingly. I can't take it.
You're happy.
New Kias under $5 a day.
During the season of New Tradition sales event.
Great cars.
Great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. Here at Key, we believe in providing a helping hand in our community. While helping hands are wonderful, a helping bank is even better. That's a bank committed to solving people's financial needs, but it doesn't stop there. We advocate, we support, we listen, and we volunteer. That's a bank that is always ready to meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors.
Key Bank, member FDIC.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Defensive star Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
The nightmare of the cleared drain. Those drain clearing specials from the other guys seem like a great deal until you realize the only thing really going down your drain is your money. At the Waterworks, we mean clean. Our service doesn't just clear your drains, it cleans them too. It's done right the first time, so that nightmare of a drain becomes a dream come true. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call 614-232-2222 to get started.
Make the most of your holidays with the Kroger app. You can enjoy over $600 in digital coupons every week. Get access to low prices and earn fuel points to save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. The Kroger app makes it easy to save this holiday season. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on 2-liter bottles of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties are just $1.49 each with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Toyotathon is on. Our biggest event of the year is better than ever with our biggest and best selection, including the best-selling Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through January 6th, you can lease a Camry LE from just $259 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Saturday in Ohio. Birds are chirping. The sky is, blue, gray? I don't know. This is recorded in advance. But the most wonderful thing of all is Buckeye football. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. The fans behind enemy lines.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Visit your local Central Ohio Ford dealer today.
All right, Behind Enemy Lines this week is going to be brought to you by Rob Mosley. GoDucks.com covers the Oregon football squad. We talked to him on Rothman and Ice this week. Here's that interview for you now. I want to start with some of the trenches, right? And I want you to highlight Jordan Burch and the player that he is and how meaningful that he is to this defense. Ohio State didn't have to face him the first go-around, but we were just talking about how productive he's been since he's been out there on the field this year. But Jordan Burch, for the Buckeye fans that don't know much about him, have not seen him play, what type of player is he?
Yeah, I mean, he's a South Carolina kid. There's another defensive lineman on this roster, Jamari Caldwell, who's another guy who came here through the portal, originally from South Carolina. And they kind of take pride in, and Jamari said this yesterday at Media Day, in kind of being SEC-type D lineman, having grown up kind of in that area. And when you look at Oregon's trajectory of the program, offense got Oregon on the map, but defense has really helped kind of even the playing field with Oregon and some of the other true powerhouses across the country. And obviously that starts with defensive line play. So getting guys like that are kind of quote unquote kind of SEC caliber D linemen, I think has been huge. And Burch is maybe kind of a poster child for that. Just an elite player. There's absolutely times when it feels like he's the best player on the field for Oregon. He had a strip sack that led to a scoop and score fumble return for a touchdown in his first start back from the injury that cost him the Ohio State game in the regular season. That was against Maryland. But the depth has been another kind of leveling factor for Oregon. Some of the games he's missed, Ohio State, Wisconsin, come to mind, are two of Oregon's better defensive performances of the season when you consider the caliber of opponent they were facing. And so Mateo Uiagalelei is the guy who stepped in for those games and really performed capably too. So it's, you're kind of of two minds. Yeah, he's an elite guy who can be really, really impactful, and yet also Oregon has found a way to get through some absences due to injuries for Jordan Burch this season too. So
absolutely,
but definitely happy to have him back in the mix tomorrow.
Rob, DeVier, Posey, man, I wanted to ask you just for the state of the program. And you think about last year, you guys are in dogfights with Washington. Michael Penix and company ousted Oregon twice to get to this point. But Danny Lanning has been coming this group with Dylan Gabriel. I think in terms of like just clean football, right? Like just clean operations, minimal penalties, breaking the huddle clean, just have no negative plays. This unit operates at a very high focus level. What is the message and feel of this program in terms of like, do you guys believe this is your national championship season? What is Danny Lanning injected into this Oregon culture?
Yeah, I mean, I just think across college football, I mean, the first thing that jumps to mind when you're talking through that is just the professionalization of the sport. And obviously we're seeing some of that in terms, monetarily, it's kind of the purest definition of professionalization. But I think professionalization too, just in terms of acting like professionals, preparing like professionals, that's language that, I think college sports shied away from for a lot of years, but has come to embrace that if you want to play at a really high level, you have to handle yourself like a professional. even before, that was really an option, again, kind of on the financial side of things, and the landscape has changed that way. But I just think, this team has been laser focused, hyper focused on, getting to this point in the season and playing well. I think you've seen that, that focus in recruiting the last few years. Mario Cristobal really, jump-started things in terms of recruiting prowess here, and then Dan Lanning and his staff have just taken it to another level. So they're hyper-focused on assembling talent, assembling a roster that fits together, assembling a culture, where guys are going to play for each other and thrive that way. All of that plays into it to where you've got a team, that, you don't want to put it on any team that it's kind of like make or break, national championship or bust. But I do think with where this program's at, anything short of a national championship is going to be disappointing. And when you're a program at the level of an Ohio State or an Oregon, that's going to be the case most years. And so, for Oregon, it's a relatively new phenomenon compared to some other programs, but it's where the Ducks are at now.
Rob Mosley from GoDucks.com joining us here on The Fan. You can follow him on X at Duck Football. I want to ask you, Rob, about the offensive approach and what you think we'll see from Oregon. As you know, that first matchup didn't go well, specifically for the Buckeye secondary. Talk about the offense and what you think we're going to see from Dylan Gabriel and those playmakers tomorrow.
Yeah, I think, when you talk about Will Stein's offense and his basic philosophies, it's just get the ball to the guys who can make big plays. They want to create explosive plays. That's such a point of distinction amongst elite offenses, your ability to create explosive plays. That's what they want to do. So, get the ball to Tez Johnson, get the ball to Jordan James, try to create plays for them in space where they can make big plays. Obviously, the play at the line of scrimmage dictates your ability to do that. And so, having an elite offensive line, which I think this group has become after some early struggles early in the season, helps with that. But, then you have X factors too. I think a guy like Evan Stewart in the first Ohio State game was a big X factor with the ability to take the top off, stretch the field, open things up underneath. So does that come into play again tomorrow? We'll see. A guy like Kenyon Sadiq, who's this really athletic tight end, young guy who's behind a couple other guys, if you're just kind of looking at a depth chart. But, you look at the Penn State game, the Big Ten championship game, he was a guy who really early in the game kind of broke that game open. And
That's the hurdle. So, that's the hurdle right there you're talking about. That guy's an NFL player.
So how do you, and we heard the coaches talk about it this morning at the press conference. How do you balance kind of your foundational principles, which for Oregon is probably like guys like Tez Johnson, Jordan James, versus, changing things up, mixing things up, going to guys like, Sadiq or Stewart, who can be difference makers in their roles too. So that's all the chess match that we'll see play out tomorrow.
Rob, I wanted to ask you one more fun question before we got out of here. Growing up, Oregon burst on the scene with those carbon fiber jerseys for me and those helmets, and I just could never get the picture of Dennis Dixon out of my mind. He's probably my favorite Oregon Duck, and I know LaMichael James personally because we played against him. We were around the same time, but wanted to ask you, who's your favorite Oregon Duck of all time?
That's a hard one. I've been around this program probably 30 years. The easy cop out is we've only had one guy win a Heisman Trophy, and so Marcus Mariota definitely. The character that he played with too, the way he represented himself, the way he represented his family, the way he represented Hawaii, the way he represented the program, and then obviously just being such an elite player. That season, that 2014 season when he won the Heisman, that's the only other year besides this one where this program won 13 games. So there's some objective measures by which Marcus Mariota separated himself subjectively too. Obviously just a great guy. But yeah, some of the names you mentioned, Dixon and LaMichael James, and there's so many guys that have been really fun to be around, fun to watch, fun to cover.
We'll get you out of here on this one, Rob. We were talking earlier, DeVier and I, about the potential of this Oregon and Ohio State rivalry and where we could be a few years from now, especially if Coach Day, Coach Lanning are still, at the head of the table for their respective programs. But as you know, NIL is such a big deal in this. And we saw a decommitment from Ohio State go Oregon's way and Naheem Offer. But I wanted to ask you specifically about Phil Knight and your understanding of the role he's playing in some of these recruiting battles and the impact that he's had so far.
Well, I mean, I think just big picture, you go back to, when he really decided to invest in the University of Oregon and in athletics specifically, in the mid-'90s. It'd be folly to say he's not he and his wife Penny have not been a huge separating factor for this program, and one big factor for why Oregon's where it's at now. And he remains committed. I do not know, everything behind the scenes in terms of kind of how some of the things in the current recruiting landscape play out, but to still hear recruits specifically mention him by name and just the attractiveness of his commitment to the program, Nike's connection to the program, continues to be really fruitful as well. So, there's no doubt that just, Oregon athletics would not be what it is without Phil and Penny Knight.
Yeah, no doubt. He's Rob Mosley, GoDucks.com editor. Follow him on Twitter at DuckFootball. Rob, we appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule. Enjoy the rest of the day. Happy New Year's, and enjoy the game tomorrow.
Yeah, same to you. Happy New Year to everybody out there.
Behind Enemy Lines is sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Visit your local Central Ohio Ford dealer today. Top of the hour. When we come back, who's got the heat? We'll apply some pressure to some of these playoff players, coaches, and teams getting ready to kick off here at the top of the hour and throughout the evening. And you'll also hear from Dan Lanning on how Oregon has improved since their first matchup against Ohio State. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice, Caffeinate, and Dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and Toyotathon is on at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and we have specials that we haven't seen for years. Visit us on the corner of Sawmill and 161, or check out our website, TanskySawmillToyota.com, for all of our Toyotathon specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
Get 15% off everything you can fit inside the bag at Menards. Quaker State Full Synthetic Motor Oil ensures strong engine performance, even in freezing temperatures. It also delivers unsurpassed protection against friction-related wear. Get 15% off Quaker State Motor Oil and all the automotive products you can fit inside the bag. Good through January 12th. See store for complete details. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. In procrastination, it's the thief of time. Do you really want to head into the new year with the same old joint pain, the stuff that's been bothering you all the way through this last year and probably many prior years? Make the decision now to say no. I'm going to get it fixed, and I'm going to get moving again in 2025 with the help from my friends at QC Kinetics. See, they're the leaders in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. They're located right here in Columbus, Ohio, under the leadership of Dr. Ray Tesner, the founder of Grant Sports Medicine and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon. He's going to help you revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics, things like PRP, so you don't have to have surgery. There's no drugs. There's no downtime. It's the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of people already know about it, so don't wait any longer. Go give them a call at 380-208-4544 for your free consultation. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices in Dublin and Gahanna, so they're conveniently located all through Central Ohio.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the Fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
This holiday season, gather your friends and family at Schmidt's Sausage Haus in historic German Village. Come enjoy the favorite pregame meal, our world-famous Bahama Mama, and those irresistible jumbo cream puffs. It's the perfect way to celebrate the magic of this season. And don't forget to grab a Schmidt's gift card while you're here. It's the holiday gift that keeps on giving. From our family to yours, happy holidays from Schmidt's. Real German food.
At NJM Insurance, we like to think of ourselves as a symphony. We start with a foundation of doing the right thing. Then we layer in dedicated reps, whose priority is you. Add in excellent discount programs. And last, but certainly not least, we put our policyholders first. And the reason we don't use jingles or mascots is because it's just not us. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Toyotathon is on, and it's the perfect time to wrap up the year with a new RAV4, America's best-selling SUV. Now through January 6th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new 24 or 25 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Excludes RAV4 Prime. Or lease a gas-powered 25 RAV4 LE for $299 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax title and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Buddy Wells. Happy New Year's Day and happy game day, everybody. Today it's Ohio State taking on Oregon at the Rose Bowl in the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. Kickoff in Pasadena is at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Our network coverage with Paul Keels, Jim Lachey, Matt Andrews, and Skip Mossick will get started at 3:30 right here on The Fan. Elsewhere in the CFP, things got started last night in Glendale. That's where Penn State beat Boise State 31-14 in the Fiesta Boys. The Nittany Lions advanced to the semifinals. We got two of their games today along with that Ohio State-Oregon game. The first of those two games is just about to get underway right now. That's where Texas will face Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. And in the nightcap tonight, it's Notre Dame against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Kickoff in that game is at 8:45. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, your F-150 headquarters and the official dealership of Carnell Tate. Breaking sports news. What happens on The Fan? Ohio's sports destination.
How do you know it's Buckeye Game Day? I don't know. Because I've ripped my shirt off in celebration. Do you like the Brutus tattoo on my chest? This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. As you prepare for another Buckeye football Saturday, one very important question remains. Who's got the heat?
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Let Logan Services bring the heat to your home this season. Free same-day estimates, next-day installation. Logan Services.
All right, welcome back in. Matty Ice, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher getting you ready for Ohio State and Oregon. I'll give you guys the floor, whoever wants to go first, because we got a playoff game kicking off as we speak. Texas and Arizona are about to get busy out in the Peach Bowl. Who we putting some heat on today?
I will begin because my heat is in that game.
Okay.
I am putting the heat on Arizona State for two reasons. First reason, underdogs need to show us something.
Please.
With this playoff so far, there is heat on an underdog to just make it a game.
Yes.
That's one big reason. Reason number two came up because we just had the interview with GoDucks.com. Rob Mosley brought up Phil Knight. The heat is on Adidas. Look at the rest of the playoff. Who we got? Texas, Nike. Oregon, Nike. Ohio State, Nike. Penn State, Nike. Georgia, Nike. Arizona State, Adidas.
They got to hold it down.
You got to hold it down for the three stripes. That's a lot of pressure.
I like it. I like it, man. That's good stuff right there.
I like
you got,
that.
Depot?
I'm in the same boat as Dane just because this game is starting. I'm putting it on Sam Leavitt. Is it Leavitt? Leavitt? All three. Sam L. Because he came out this week, guys, and he had some comments that were interesting to me. It was just like, I'm going to prove I'm a better quarterback than Quinn Ewers. And it just kind of was like, Like, I don't really like to get in to the pitcher versus pitcher matchup or this quarterback versus this quarterback. And I didn't really know that those guys, like, played into that. Like, I want to perform better than this quarterback because you're not actually going against him.
Right.
But Sam Leavitt is taking that approach this week. Is like, I want my performance to outshine that of Quinn Ewers, and I want to show you that I'm a better pro prospect than him. So, to me, he kind of put the heat on himself, and I'm here with the popcorn.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why you would do that, especially when you're coming into this game without your top wide receiver Yep. Yeah, that could be a dangerous proposition there for him. You went with the quarterback. I'm going with the quarterback. I'm going with the quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm going Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton, tough matchup against this Notre Dame secondary that was top 5 in the country taking the rock away. And this is a guy that's only attempted 55 passes in his collegiate career. He's got some juice to his legs, but I don't think that's how Georgia can win this game. I don't believe so. He's going to have to make some timely throws throughout this game because we saw Carson Beck. He can be an efficient quarterback, had a rough window of time in the middle of the season, but he did a pretty good job. But that's, I think, a very, very big deal in that last game is what he can do with his right arm tonight.
Well, we'll talk about him, though, Matty. Talk about the guy because I believe in that second half, they moved the ball down the field at a more efficient and faster pace with Gunnar Stockton at quarterback than they did with Carson Beck in that SEC championship game. And then the best part about it was, I mean, you talk about a guy from Alabama. That's where that guy is from. Did you see the hit he took on the goal line?
He got rocked.
And got right back up. I like that guy.
He's about that action. And what I think can be a benefit for him.
His name is Gunnar.
What can be helpful for him is the preparation that he's had the last couple of weeks, right, with going through the first team reps. And obviously it's not against an opponent and all that, but I do think that can be valuable for a guy having to fill the shoes of Carson Beck. You got something, Dane?
Yeah, his name's Gunnar.
And where's he from, DeVier?
He's from Alabama.
No, but we've seen it. Like, this is another one. Like, we're going to see how important it is. When you have a really good team, how much do you fall off with the quarterback? Obviously, Beck's really good. He hasn't been the most consistent this year. He had his struggles.
Right.
I mean, we've seen this in our short lifespan of the playoff. When's the only time Ohio State succeeded? It was next man, but we've got a really good team. So whoever's going to take the snap, dish it out, and let's go. So I don't know. This is an interesting. I'm with you. That this Georgia game is super interesting.
So intrigued about what he's going to look
like.
Go
to the national championship on that side of the bracket. Like, they're built for the national championship, I believe, this year. They're physical, they're athletic, they're fairly healthy.
But you know what's standing in their way?
Gunnar.
Dude named Gunnar.
Where's he from, Depot?
Gunnar. He's from Alabama.
He's from Alabama.
Named Gunnar from Alabama.
He's from down where Coach Saban's lake house is.
That just worries you.
Who's got the heat? Who's got the heat is sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Let Logan Services bring the heat to your home this season. Free same-day estimates, next-day installation. Logan Services. Let's get back into Oregon and Ohio State. I want you guys to hear from Dan Lanning, head coach of the Ducks. Here he is on how he thinks his team has improved since the first matchup against the Buckeyes.
Yeah, great question. You know, our team's about growth, right? We hammer that a lot in our meetings. So I think I'd like to think there's a lot of things that we've improved on, you know, since that moment. I don't know if there's one overall arching theme that you would look at and say, okay, this is where they've drastically changed, because I don't think that's what it's about. Growth comes in incremental pieces. But I think we've grown in a lot of areas. I think we've challenged ourselves to continue to change and adapt, you know, based on the teams that we're playing. The amount of information that our players are able to handle, you know, I think is probably one of the most stark differences in our team now compared to when I first got here, that we can, there's no such thing as information overload for our guys. You know, if we can give them a nugget that'll help them perform in the game, our guys are really able to absorb that really well.
One big difference in this game for Oregon, outside of what he mentioned, is now the presence of Jordan Burch, their big-time defensive lineman that did not play in round one. And ironically, last couple matchups for Ohio State haven't gone their way against Oregon. No Kayvon Thibodeau, who's an absolute dog when they came to Columbus and they won the game. And then Ohio State goes out to Eugene and they don't have their guy in Jordan Burch and they get it done. I mean, in 9 games, this dude's racked up 8.5 sacks. So he's just an absolute dude. He's an NFL caliber player. And I just think about the importance today of consistent play from Donovan Jackson and Josh Fryer out there on the edge. But I think with the way we saw them have a good performance, not just those guys, but the offensive line as a whole against Tennessee, those guys are coming into this thing very confident. But Jordan Burch is built different. And so that's something that Coach Kelly, Coach Day, they're going to have to adjust to. And I'm sure they've obviously been grinding the tape and all those things, but they didn't feel his presence in game number 1. And this guy's an absolute difference maker.
Yeah, and it seems like seems cliche, but you can always go back to what happens up front. What happens between the tackles even. Like that a lot of times decides these games, and you could look at the last time we played and say we didn't do enough on the defensive side, on the defensive line to get this done. So yeah, that helps them. You know, it's one of the, I guess we'll see. What I'm most interested in, I know that DeVier is a huge Dan Lanning fan.
This guy.
So I wanted to get his take on Coach Lanning's word, preparation, growth mindset.
When did you turn heel on Coach Lanning? When did this happen?
When I realized I couldn't like him anymore because he's going to be in the Big Ten. And when he became a threat.
Okay.
I didn't know that. That's fair.
It's honesty.
That's fair. I think he'd accept that.
He became a threat. So it's like, whoa, I can't like watch your team meetings and like your messages to your team and the mindset and that you've been through adversity. Your wife's had cancer. It's like, man, I want to like you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like he has a great story, man. I mean, Dan Lanning has a great story, but he's a threat. So we can't like anything he says.
I get it. What I think is really cool about this, and you and I talked about it on Rothman and Ice, is the potential of this matchup, these brands, but you dig deeper, it's the coaches, right? And who they are as coaches and Coach Day and their age. And there could be a lot of runway left with this thing. With Day being an offensive minded coach, and you got Dan Lanning being a defensive-minded guy, this thing could get for real over the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, this could be the game. And I don't think it's going to be this 1 o'clock game. This 5 o'clock game could be the game that saves the 2025 college football
We
playoff.
got football
Tonight
cinema the first time.
Notre Dame and Georgia could be good too.
But we would have saved it first.
Yep.
Coming up next, we'll scan around the Big Ten, look back at the conference, in 2024, and we'll hit you with our final thoughts on Ohio State and Oregon. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan pregame show right here on The Fan.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Micah has what I'm looking for.
Defensive star Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
Replace your furnace with Logan AC and Heat Services. Get a free Trane furnace with the purchase of an air conditioner and 0% APR financing for 72 months. Get a free indoor air quality product when you schedule your installation by the end of the month. We offer a system for every home and every budget. And with same-day estimates and next-day installation, it's hard to stop a Trane. Schedule your free estimate now and get fast, friendly service from Logan Services.
Year-end pricing. New Kias under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
$5? You see, Max, the holidays drive everyone crazy. Especially Great Lakes Kia.
Hi, mister. Did you hear? Year-end pricing.
Thanks, kid, but my credit's in the doghouse. No offense, Max.
If you've got a job, you ride.
A job, eh? Go on.
Lease new Kia K4, K5, and Sorrentos. All three under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
That's only $149 a month for 24 months.
New 25 Kia K5 LXS, K4 LXS, and Sorrento LX. Standard with third row seating. All three under $5 a day. Save thousands.
Thousands?
And we have 0% financing.
I'm tingly. I can't take it.
You're happy.
New Kias under $5 a day.
During the season of New Tradition sales event.
Great cars.
Great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
If somebody is still asking what you want for Christmas, just tell them to sign you up for the Fan Golf League at Fairway Columbus. You don't want to miss out on all this fun. Chance to keep your game sharp, chance to get inside and still play golf during these winter months, and a chance to win signed memorabilia, game tickets, gift cards, and more, including some prize packs from Woodford Reserve. There's going to be drink specials every week, and there's that McGinnis Grill delicious food. The 12-week league starts on January 5th, and there are only a few spots remaining. Sign up now.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Every hockey player dreams of a hat trick.
And if you've ever seen one, you know it's a thrill when the hats hit the ice.
And now, it's hats off to Honda Marysville, because this season, every time a Blue Jacket scores a hat trick at Nationwide Arena,
Honda Marysville will give one lucky fan a 2-year lease on a new Honda Civic Sport on the spot.
So come to a game and cheer us on. Who knows?
A new car from Honda Marysville might be closer than you think.
Official rules at HondaMarysville.com/hat-trick.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy New Year. Today, it is going to be cloudy, cold, and dreary. We will see a few snow flurries from time to time. Today's high will be around 35. Tonight, we drop it on down below freezing. Then we get a little bit more sunshine on your Thursday with a high of 34. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Chicken wings, check. Drinks, check. Listening to the Fan, check. It must be game day.
Sponsored by Reichert Chevy.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Getting you ready for another Buckeye victory. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. It's the Fan's East to West.
All right, welcome back in. Matty Ice, Dane, Sanzenbacher, DeVier, Posey. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Quickly, looking back at the conference this year, fellas, what was one of your big takeaways? What are your thoughts on what you saw around the Big Ten in 2024?
My big takeaway is that we're looking at the Final Four after this weekend, and it's going to have two Big Ten teams in it, right? And Texas can make it, and Georgia can make it. But I think undoubtedly for 2024, the Big Ten was the best conference in college football, and I think the Final Four is going to reflect that.
No matter.
Yeah, I think it's right there. I think if you're looking at what we've seen in bowl games so far, I mean, what you've seen in the playoffs so far, Big Ten has every right to be puffing their chest because it's like you have to hear it all the time, and there's only so many chances you get to prove where you're at, and they've played well. I mean, what sticks out to me is like it's going to be so hard moving forward to figure out how to schedule both SEC and Big Ten with the conferences being this big.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest hurdle that's not talked about a lot is like, how are we going to do this? Because an 18-team conference is really hard to find out who's the cream of the crop. But that's for somebody else to figure out as we look back on it. I think DeVier is absolutely right.
That's a good call.
Big Ten has shown up and is continuing to.
I'm very curious to turn the page to next year. Is the Indiana thing a flash in the pan, or is this something that they can continue to do year in and year out? Meaning, can they be right there towards the top of the Big Ten? Can they find themselves in the playoff? Maybe not every year, but every other year, every 2 years. What does that look like? Even a program like Arizona State, both Indiana and Arizona State handed contract extensions to their head coaches after having really good seasons. But specifically for Indiana, the recruiting and how Kirk Cignetti can continue to build the positive momentum he created. What does that look like for them after this year?
I'm with you on that, Matty. I think there's going to be 3 teams in the Big Ten in the national championship picture every year moving forward. And then there's going to be either like a Michigan or Penn State fringe team. But we're going to get a Indiana every year. Like I just think we'll get.
Like you're saying it may not be Indiana, but Indiana?
It could be Illinois one year. It could be Wisconsin. It could
Illinois.
be,
We're not putting S's on it.
Thanks, Dane. I've been to Myers later.
You
I went to Myers
you told me to
earlier.
correct. Last time you did, you said you got to correct me. So
all right, I got to go to Kroger's after this.
Yeah.
My bad. But I'm just saying, like, it could be Illinois. It could be Wisconsin. I just think we're going to have 3 teams in the national picture and then, like, one, like, lower team that's still in the national picture.
You know who I just thought about, because I think you're onto something, is, like, the brand of USC.
Because, right.
Where are we at with that moving forward?
They
were supposed to be in the mix this year.
Yes.
And they laid an absolute dud.
Washington could be in the mix.
So USC is a program that I cannot wait to see what Lincoln Riley, whoever's in charge in years to come, where are they going to be at?
You're looking at we're looking at just what we've seen this year and what's present. Yeah, there's outliers out there that in a new landscape, they have the pockets to compete. Mm-hmm. They have the brand to compete. Mm-hmm. You know, for Indiana, for your point there, I mean, there's no reason to think that they couldn't continue to build on this. They're getting really good transfers coming in. They've got a coach that they like, and the athletic department has said, we're willing to pour millions into this. That's a recipe. So if you can keep yourself relevant, it's going to be very tough in this Big Ten because everybody is thinking that same thing. How do we get there? Yeah. And you've got some big boys. Like, USC is not going to stay sleeping for long. I just don't think they will.
They'll wake up.
Michigan's only napping. I mean, like, they had a tough year, but they finished great. You don't think they're going to be able to recruit? They just paid like $10 million to get the best quarterback.
2 years in a row, they beat Ohio State and Alabama. They finished on Ohio State and Alabama wins.
So, I mean, they're not going anywhere. You've got some big brands in this conference that are just it's going to be so interesting to see how it shakes out. The whole system is being turned upside down. Mm-hmm. All we can do is, like DeVier, just sit back and
enjoy it. I love.
Let's just watch the fire, man. Like, what is? I don't know.
The fire. I'm just sitting there like this, like with my eyebrows up, watching the fire, because it's like we've opened this can of worms, and it's like, oh, so what? Like, y'all mad? Y'all paying them now? Oh, so your expectations of the coach and the players have changed? Okay, and then also with the playoffs, we just have so much. Just like inclusion of all of college football. I love that. Like, I like Arizona is getting to play versus Texas for a meaningful game. Like, I just like that. Like, it's going to make this story just play out good. But I do want to mention this on the SEC versus the Big Ten. Indiana historically has been our worst team, right? But our worst team made it to the college football playoffs. Vanderbilt has never made it, all right? So I don't want to hear anything about this. Like, your worst teams can't compete with our worst teams. I just
the bottom of the SEC was not good this year. It was a mess. It was an absolute mess. Those are going to be the two brands or the two conferences that I think hold the most power, hold the most weight, and get the most respect around the sport. Real quick, I did want to play this before we get out of here. I want you guys to hear from Will Howard, and here he is on Playing Oregon for a second time.
It's more like the NFL playoffs now. You know, it's more of that kind of style. And we're trying to adapt to that and treat this thing like pros, man. And, you know, in the NFL, you're going to play teams twice, and you have to learn how to do that. And I've done it in my career and playing a team twice in the same season. And it's a challenge, but it's fun, you know, and it really brings out the chess game in the football. And that's, you know, I'm a football nerd. I'm a geek. You know, I love the game inside the game. And, you know, I think that's even more heightened, you know, when you play a team twice, and especially, you know, of the caliber that we're, you know, the team of the caliber we're playing, and you know, especially the last matchup we had, you know, it's hyped up. You know, we're all excited to be here, but you know, I'm just so proud of this team, you know, getting to this stage and making it here, and you know, we're just gonna go out there and put our best foot forward tomorrow.
The dude was locked in against Tennessee. He was absolutely awesome in that game. I just hope that we see and feel that same aggressiveness coming from not only him, but the play calling in this one, because I think it's going to be needed. I think we're looking at a game today where there's going to be a decent amount of points on that scoreboard.
Yeah. Man, I don't want to see that kind of game, bro. Like, I want to see a 17-10 just defensive battle.
I think that's going to be your night.
What happened to the DeVier, the entertainment DeVier?
Because I just feel more comfortable if our defense is playing better than our offense.
It is. I mean, I think the takeaway from the Tennessee game was how comfortable I felt in the second quarter, because we had, and it wasn't because we were lighting it up on offense. I was like, we had 21. I was like, this defense is not giving up 22.
We're stopping them.
I don't really have a lot to. They're not giving up 22.
Yeah.
So yeah, that luxury of having a defense. I hope you're right. I hope it's not a shootout.
Yeah, that's a scary feeling.
But Will, if we're just looking at Will, he played great the first time around. Forget the last drive. That's a tough situation, but he played great, and he played great last week. So, I mean, like if you're riding that into this game, I mean, I think you're in a really good place, and you should feel pretty good about your offense if you're Ohio State.
No Dane, what's your first play of the game?
Ooh, I like this.
Just run straight up the middle.
3 yards in a cloud of dust, baby.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Thanks for asking. Next question.
That first Madden play, halfback dive.
The same first play that everybody's called in every game since the beginning of time. Just run it up the middle.
All right, Depot, answer your own question. I'm giving you the play sheet. I'm
running Jeremiah on a double move.
Not messing around.
You know what I do like that they've done, though? Yeah. It is kind of a happy medium. Is those getting it out to a receiver first play of the game.
I like
quick screen, get him moving, get him in space. Maybe he pops it, but okay, you got an easy completion for Will. Feels you're getting a start to the game that's not just like a scrum.
Low-hanging fruit early.
We've done that a couple times, just like get the ball out of your hands. Let's set the tone now that we're throwing this thing.
Yeah. It's good stuff, man. It should be a banger of a game. The first game delivered. I'm expecting the second one to deliver as well. Folks, thanks so much for your time. Depot, Dane, always appreciate your time as well. We're going to hand this thing over to the guys, now Anthony Rothman, Andy Katzenmoyer, Tim May. They'll continue to get you ready for Ohio State and Oregon. This has been the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Can I tase Common Man in the nuts? Fine by us, but he may like it. Common Man and Tebow.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
Toyotathon is on. The perfect time to shop for a new SUV with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through January 6th, get any new Highlander or Grand Highlander with 5.99 APR financing up to 72 months, including hybrid models, with $1,657 per thousand borrowed, subject to approved credit through TFS. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The nightmare of the cleared drain. Those drain clearing specials from the other guys seem like a great deal until you realize the only thing really going down your drain is your money. At the Waterworks, we mean clean. Our service doesn't just clear your drains, it cleans them too. It's done right the first time, so that nightmare of a drain becomes a dream come true. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call 614-232-2222 to get started.
It's back January 10th through 19th at the Ohio Expo Center. The Ohio RV and Boat Show, brought to you in part by Park National Bank. 3 enormous buildings with dealers that have brought the best selection of RVs, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, golf cars, and more. Wide open aisles, tons to see, fun for all. The Ohio RV and Boat Show at the Ohio Expo Center, January 10th through 19th. From towables to drivers, jet skis to pontoons, and more. It's all here. Join the fun. One-stop competitive shopping. Get tickets online at OhioRVandBoatShow.com.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell furnaces instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Replace your furnace with Logan AC and Heat Services. Get a free Trane furnace with the purchase of an air conditioner and 0% APR financing for 72 months. Get a free indoor air quality product when you schedule your installation by the end of the month. We offer a system for every home and every budget. And with same-day estimates and next-day installation, it's hard to stop a Trane. Schedule your free estimate now and get fast, friendly service from Logan Services.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone from my team at Valley Ford of Columbus. 2025 is here, and as a real Valley Ford customer, I urge you to get online to see all the New Year's savings at valleyfordofcolumbus.com. Ford F-150, Bronco Sports, Mustang, Mach-E's. Valley has the massive selection to choose from, plus the lease and financing deals that have you rolling into 2025 with huge savings. Go to valleyfordofcolumbus.com today for all the details. That's valleyfordofcolumbus.com.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of